Our friends were here, and with them they brought great cheer and some very English weather. But that wasn't going to drown our spirits.
Everything changes every which way. You got to hold on to what you need. And if I hide myself away, how could I go with the world away? We can trust each other, always make things right. What is more important than loving someone? La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
For some of us, the first day began with a mild hangover. Zach, however, had set his alarm for 6:30 to make sure he was ready. I really need to have a word with him. And so I set him to work pulling out the broken glass from the window of the front door. Meanwhile, Will had donned some work trousers and picked up the power tools. He was breaking up the damaged tiles in the back kitchen, ready for me to replace them. If academia doesn't work out, then there's always work for a labourer. Paul had set up to work outside and was even making his own videos.
That's what it looks like now. Just a bit of elbow grease and we see what it looks like afterwards.
And Alix was gallantly attacking the stubborn remnants of the old wallpaper on the back stairs.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Get the worst off, then have a brush, and then we'll do a power wash. Should come up new.
Fantastic.
Almost new anyway.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
This looks like precision work, Alix.
It's just a tricky angle. It's not as satisfying as the bigger bits coming off.
No.
I've never seen wallpaper like this before.
Oh, you should have seen the whole thing. I mean, it was really, it was like made of rattan. You know, it was woven as if it was made out of straw or something like that.
Yeah.
And really thick. And so it weighed a huge amount as well, getting it down. Because what you're taking off now is like the backing rather than the actual wallpaper.
I think that might be remnants of some of it.
There's still some remnants, but that's still, yes, it is a bit similar. Yes, there's a few remnants there. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Very satisfying.
Having it clear will be amazing. Putting something up that's pretty and bright.
Do I run the oil along the glass or do I just put it on the blade?
I imagine you keep it on the blade.
Like a little, would you call this a pipette?
Yeah.
Zach had done excellent work removing the broken glass and dried putty. It was time to cut the glass down to size.
So I'm going to try just having a bit on the blade. Bearing in mind, I don't know. So, okay, right, we've got to readjust because we want to be on the line with the blade. So that means moving this across a little. So this end I want to be here. And yeah, so at this end, yeah, there. Okay. So now, if all goes according to plan, I just do that, and you just put your hand there.
Oh, gosh.
I think it bounced.
It did. Just took the corner off, but that's all right.
Okay. Is
so
it
this
the right? Is it the right height?
No. So that's why it doesn't matter. So it's slightly heavier than I was expecting.
It's glass, right?
Thank you for that.
833, yeah?
8. Let's double check.
As the cowboy builders worked on their window, we took advantage of Alix's single-minded determination to complete a task, which involved her being precariously perched up a ladder on the stairs at full stretch. She's just unstoppable. Elsewhere, Paul was getting into the swing of filming his own content.
I'm here at Chateau de Pican to help my friends Rory and Jane, and I'm going to tackle those staircases today, and let's see how I go. Here's a close-up of it. Bit of a mess. I'm sure we can do something with it. Okie doke. That wire brush is working better than I thought. It's doing a great deal of work actually in getting that stuff off, which means I think that the power wash I'll do later, yeah, will bring it up quite good. Let's see.
A little bit harder.
Can you start?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's it.
Did not. Has it done it?
There we go.
Lovely job.
Well done. Well done.
So now the big test is, I'll get you to hold this glass. Did we get it right first time? No, we didn't. It is too long. Is it the right width?
Width looks good.
Width is good. How did we measure wrong? We measured twice. We just measured it. It's slightly, so it's deeper at this end. If we only measured one side, it sort of goes that way there. Welcome to Jane's Find of the Day. With Jane and Zach, with assistance from Alix.
Alix was intrigued by this neglected office chair Lord Percy had been using as a bed. Despite being an aristocrat, he brings in a lot of detritus. Zach kindly offered to clean it up, and this is the result.
Hello and welcome to this week's Find of the Day at Chateau de Pican. Today it is quite chilly outside, so I'm going to be quite quick. This is the item. When Alix and Paul were here, Alix knows far more about design than I do, and she was very excited when she found this chair, and she came running up to us and said, "It's a Vitra, I thought it was, it's a Vitra." It meant nothing to me at all, but she explained that this is no ordinary office chair. This is a design classic. And I've researched it and found she's absolutely right. The design actually dates back to 1958 and is attributed to Charles and Ray Eames. Ray was his wife. Charles Eames was born in 1907 in the US and his wife 5 years later. They are highly regarded designers of the 20th century. They started off looking at the world of art and design, but they even designed plywood splints for the Navy in the Second World War. But in 1958, they designed this chair. It's the same design that is still being made to this day, and they licensed it to Vitra. And Alix was exactly right. So Vitra is the only licensed company, certainly in Europe and the Middle East, I think, that's allowed to make Eames design chairs. It's the EA117. It's not the leather version, it's the material version.
but you can still buy it exactly the same as it was made all those years ago. Now, it is labelled as being Vitra, but interestingly, the main branding on the chair is by a company called Ring Mechanic, and they are a Norwegian company. And as I understand it, they made their own chairs in the 1960s, but then afterwards only made components for other people's chairs. So I suspect this is quite an early model. Maybe it was made in the 1960s, maybe the 1970s, but I think this is an early version, and it's still in good working order. And in fact, if you buy an Eames design chair by Vitra today, they come with a 30-year guarantee. The Vitra company in Switzerland still has close links to the Eames family, even though Charles and Ray are now deceased. So it does have a very interesting background. Absolute design classic, much imitated and copied, but this is an original.
Will had been slowly deafening us with his manly work and was proving to be a dab hand at removing the broken tiles without damaging the surface beneath. His care and attention meant that retiling will be much easier for me, and also there should be no risk of damage to the underfloor heating pipes under the tiles. After our calamitous earlier work on the window pane, we had to cut off a small sliver of glass to make it fit. I was making this up as I went along.
This isn't going according to plan at all.
You're really making a...
Really making a wow.
Really making me out, I was going to say, but yeah. Not very good jobs.
Oh, Zach of little faith.
Bend up. Okay. Right, that's positive. That's good.
Once I'd found the solution, I made smashing progress. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Just very gently, because it's still a bit rough, I'm pointing. It doesn't matter, we don't have to get it perfectly flat, but just gently sand it. This might not want to spin round properly when it's on its side. But yeah, just gently try to take the edges off. If you push too hard, it might cut into the paper. But yeah, just see how you get on.
I really hope I don't cut this up and put it on YouTube. That'd be embarrassing.
We have put it on YouTube, Zach, but it isn't embarrassing. Once Zach had finished, it was time to test whether round 2 was another cock-up.
Oh, you're joking. You're absolutely... Oh my god.
Right, well, let's not panic yet.
That's not happening. We're not getting that off.
Let's just... It's that way. Let's try this way.
Oh, perfect.
And it wasn't a cock-up.
Ta-da! It's worked.
Put it back on the door now.
Yep. So now it's 1 o'clock, so we just about have time to start puttying.
So there was a carpenter who punched a hole in a window. So we had to take it out. You've probably already seen this. Put a new window in which cuts to size. Now I've got some putty going around the glass, and I'm making it watertight so we can put it on an exterior door.
Zach's skill with the putty knife may well exceed my own. We'll have to have him back. The weather during our friend's stay was a blend of misty mornings, warm days and cold evenings, with the odd shower thrown in. The boys were making the most of the weather, jet washing paths and stone steps all around the chateau. Paul, with a little help from Will and Zach, cleaned and cleared years of mud and moss build-up. There may have been a little water-based accident, but nothing that Pican hasn't dealt with before.
So this is the finished product. So I've done the best I can. It's quite a messy job. I'm soaked because it's such a small confined area, and it splashes back quite a bit. I will need a shower, but I think it's come up pretty good. But obviously you guys can decide. But there, look at those steps and the top there. The moss has disappeared, which is good. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did to a certain degree, but farewell.
It was time to start fitting coving in the guest suite. Jane had found polystyrene-based decorative coving online, which is relatively easy to install. So after I helped to work out how to cut the angles, I left her to get on with it.
So which corner is that?
Left-hand
That's
corner.
left-hand corner. So we start in that corner. If we get it right, it'll look nice. The patterns would sort of match just about.
My original plan had been to use a ladder, which would have been far harder. Very kindly, Rory and Will had put the scaffolding up for me. I started by trying to glue the coving whilst on the scaffolding, but that turned out to be a mistake. I also didn't put enough glue on my first two pieces, and one of them had to be done twice. Nevertheless, as you will see in the next episode, I do get the hang of it eventually, and the effect on the room is transformative.
The moment that perhaps none of you have been waiting for.
Well, a new one of these from Vitra today would set you back €2,800. I kid you not. And they are very much collected and loved. And one that was made in the 1990s, exactly the same as this, in perfect condition. Maybe this one isn't in perfect condition, even despite Zach's excellent attention. But this one's probably older. I don't know if that makes a difference. But one in the 1990s is being offered for sale for €1,800. I've seen quite a few for sale around the 1,000 mark. So it's certainly valuable, and it's certainly very interesting. And I'm not sure it belongs in the chateau, so maybe this one will be sold, but it's still absolutely fascinating and really lovely find. Thank you, Alix.
And now back to the water-based accident. Water pressure in France can often be double or triple what is usual in England. After the jet washing was finished, the hose, which was connected to a tap in the laundry room, was left unused and under pressure. It leaked. It was only by chance that Jane noticed, and it could have carried on for some time as we were all busy working on different things. Still, no harm done.
I wanted this floor cleaned, so don't worry. It's all good.
It sort of looks like it could be a swimming
It does, doesn't it?
Still, a slightly flooded laundry room is a small price to pay for the hard work Alix, Paul, Will and Zach put in during their all too brief stay at the chateau.
So we quite like spaniels and kittens and Lord Percy, who's not really a kitten, and horses and animals in general, in fact. 2 weeks ago was Bonnie's last full day with us, and we're very sorry that she's gone, but she was a very happy doggy.
So we would like to thank you all for the overwhelming outpouring of support that we've received on YouTube. So from both of us, thank you very much. It was a really tricky week preparing for our friend's arrival and dealing with Bonnie's passing. But we got through it, and in no small part thanks to you for your messages of support and condolence and sharing some of your own stories, which has been really lovely to read. And a friend of ours also wrote a poem for Bonnie, which is delightful, and I hope I can read it and I hope I can do it justice, but it's a really lovely poem. So Tony, thank you so much for writing this. It really does mean a lot to us. By winter's grace and on the cusp of spring, sweet Bonnie leaves her gambolling days, her Francais fling. Although too brief her sojourn here, within the vasty fields of France, her pause will always be impressed on land by gentle hands well blessed. As the dog star Bonnie shines, to so illuminate the skies, her soul enriches day and night, in memory's delight comprised. A find of a lifetime at Chateau de Pican, companionable spaniel, adorable chien. And before we go, we'd just like to say thank you very much to Alix, Paul, Will and Zach for all the help you've given us this last week. We've got so much more done than we expected to when you were here. We got jobs done we didn't know we were going to have done. And your company is brilliant as always. So until next time, thank you. See you again soon.
And we'll see all of you again soon too. Next week, I hope.